contract yesterday. Great show of faith, obviously, for you guys and for your program.
Yeah, look, it is. It's a great show of faith from the footy club. Clearly, I'm blessed to have the people that are involved in this footy club, and I've said this a lot, but it does take a lot of great people to make a good program, and we have that. So I'm a small part of that. I'm certainly privileged to be the coach and love the footy club. So it's good to get something locked away. It builds stability around our program, and we can keep progressing forward and have a real crack over the next few weeks.
How do you feel you're placed, and can you sort of just take us into how you feel now? Obviously, hoping to get a top 4 spot, and where it sits in relation to other years. You've got a top 4 spot. I mean, it seems like this year's probably more open than ever. Would that be your assessment of it?
Yeah, look, that's fair. I think we've seen throughout the whole season how tight the AFL competition is, and it's not just teams that are in the top 4, it's teams all the way down to 10, 11, 12 that have been very tight throughout the whole season. So that provides a lot of opportunity, and one thing that we've been focused on throughout the whole year is how we continue to improve and get better as the year goes on, and that's been a focus right from the start of the season. It's been something that we've spoken about a lot internally, and we feel in the back half of the year we've been able to build some momentum, especially over the last 7 or 8 weeks. We've had to be flexible in our thinking, around what some of our personnel and strategy looks like. But we feel like we're really well placed from a game style perspective to keep improving as we go.
Simon, through to 2026, I'm sure you're quite excited with what the group you've got now and what it can do in the future, and just how far you can take it up until that year when you reach your 10th with the Demons.
Yeah, look, I'm incredibly excited about the playing group that we've got and the list that we've got. We've had significant change even throughout this year in terms of our personnel that are playing on field. Last week we had 9 guys that weren't involved in our premiership in 2021, and I think that's a reflection of not only our list management and recruitment, but our development, our coaching, and the clarity and the depth of the list that we've got. So we're really excited about that. Our younger players continue to improve, and we feel like we're going to continue to bring in more and more of those type of players that will help our footy club moving forward. So I think we're really well positioned as a footy club, but we need to keep executing and keep finding ways to get better.
So here's a question: how do you try playing? Simon, are you expecting to have Bailey Fritsch back in the team this weekend?
Yeah, look, he'll play. He's done a power of work. Clearly, he's got to get through training today, but we're really confident of that. But he's certainly done a power of work in the last month. We feel like he's ready to go, and he's an important player for us. So we'll get him in the team this week, and look forward to seeing his best. He's a high quality player that's a really important player for us.
Tommy Donald's the other who's had a strong performance in the VFL, and obviously has his own injury setbacks. But how do those two sort of fit into that forward line? It's been an ongoing discussion for you this year as you prepare for finals, and I guess some interesting calls to make.
Yeah, look, we've got some options now. It was great to see Tom McDonald playing some really strong footy last week. He's moving better than he's moved throughout the whole of the season. So that gives us a lot to think about in terms of how we want to structure up our forward end, and also how it impacts the back half of the ground. So we've got some decisions to make in that space, but the pleasing thing at this part of the season is that you start to develop some options, and that's something that we want. Obviously, without Harrison Petty being available, we need options at both ends of the ground.
Simon, is it possible for Jake Melksham and Bailey Fritsch to play effectively in the same forward line? It seems as though a big part of Melksham's spike has been sort of having that role to himself.
Oh, they can definitely play together. They've done it before. So we're quite excited by the combination. Jake's a very unique player. He's playing both tall and small, and they both played a very similar way, but they both have great impact in the game, and we feel they both can work really well together. They're both incredibly smart in terms of their patterns, their leading, they're good air and ground, and they're going to be a challenge for any team defence.
Simon, I think the footy world are really keen to see how the Gawn and Grundy experiment, would go when you did recruit Brodie. But is it time to admit now that it just hasn't worked the way you'd hoped?
Oh, look, in terms of the way they've functioned in the team together from a forward half perspective, I think it's pretty clear that we acknowledge that it hasn't quite been the success that we were hoping for, and that certainly hasn't been all on Brodie. We were hoping for Max to play a big time forward as well, and between the two of them, we haven't quite had the impact that we would have liked throughout the year, and we've had to look down a different path to how we structure up the forward half of the ground. So at this point, that's impacted Brodie's ability to play in the team in the last 5 or 6 weeks. So I think from that perspective, we acknowledge that that part of it hasn't worked. There's certainly areas of the combination that has worked, and there's certainly areas of having them both on our list that has worked as well. So as I said, we certainly haven't had a closed book to what it might look like and potentially what the opportunities are moving forward.
So do you revisit it though? I mean, if someone came to you and there was a deal that could be struck between all parties, do you revisit it now? Given the fact that everyone praised you for having a crack at something different, it didn't work. You look at it from a pragmatic sense.
We're not. That's just not the space I'm in right now. I'm in the space of winning games of footy and building the best footy team possible. Those things will be discussed at the end of the year. But Brodie, from my end, is a Melbourne player. We need him up and running. We need him going well, and that's my total focus at the moment. So I understand the exterior talk and the noise about it, but he's got 4 years to go as a Melbourne football player, and we certainly love having him at our footy club.
Does he play this weekend, Simon?
That's something we'll decide after today's training. Obviously, we're not playing until Sunday, so we'll have a look at what that looks like, but we'll make that decision in our chats after match committee after training today.
And considering you are playing on Sunday and you'll have a fair idea of where you'll finish, win, lose or draw, do you have a preference on who you'll be playing week 1 of the finals?
No, that's just not the space that we operate in or I operate in. We are a team and a club that's full of competitors. We want to play our best footy all the time. We don't really worry about where we play and who we play. We just want to make sure our game's in really good shape and we're playing really strong footy and continuing to get better. And that's been our focus the whole way through. I'll let other people worry about what's best, and those scenarios change all the time. So we'll just control what we can control and play our best footy.
Simon, Christian Petrarca flagged earlier in the week there was some illness swept through the group. Is there any concerns or measures the clubs needed to take ahead of the weekend?
No, we're like every other club. 2 or 3 guys crook every week for the last 7 or 8 weeks. So, no, it's just a standard week for us. I think Christian might have had a runny nose, but he's all good now.